Well, I was just going to ask you, have you ever struggled with sparking such a connection where you potentially get feelings for the other person?
I mean, I guess I don't understand the question. Like, I expect to get feelings for them.
You would have. It seems like you would have to if you're really interested and you're doing this. It's almost like, I hate to call it method acting. I don't mean to do that to like put down.
No.
But you know what I'm saying? Like you're in it. You're not faking it.
No,
so
it's not fake. Nothing
your
that
mind would have to follow.
Yeah, no, and I definitely develop. I mean, if you're interested in someone and you share intimate moments with them, whether it's on a friend level, a family level, or a romantic level, you will develop feelings. But
you got to keep it professional, though, too.
Well, yeah, of course. But I mean, look, I have professional relationships with, my business partners I care deeply about. These are guys who I trust with my money.
Sure.
Right. And like, I will be, one of my business partners is getting married pretty soon, and I will be there at his wedding, and hopefully his bachelor party if his girl lets him have one.
That could pop off nice.
Has there ever been a situation where you wish the relationship could be taken outside of the straight transactional and move to more of just a personal relationship with some of these women?
Yeah, I think you'll probably even, if you watch the show, you'll probably see
that there may or may not be something that happens
that goes
on
to
there.
the greater point that I think that's why people have discomfort with dating someone who's putting themselves in that situation on almost a daily basis with other people.
Well,
because there is that chance to develop feelings, and maybe the feelings that they have for you won't be as strong, especially with the new experiences.
Well, I mean, my experiences with one person doesn't change how I feel about another person. Like,
sure.
if I go...
But it could be stronger, comparably.
Sure, I mean, some will be strong. I have a ton of friends, right? Mm-hmm. Me going out and having drinks with one friend tonight doesn't change in the least the way that I feel about my best friend of 10 years. You know what I mean? I could not see him in 4 years, And some of my best friends, they live on the other coast, and I don't see them for 3 years or 4 years, right. And then we catch back up,
That's
and it's just
bit different than an intimate relationship.
Yeah, especially with physical contact of an intimate nature.
It is different, but it's not. I mean, putting sex in there, yes, obviously it's different. It's a male-female relationship, right?
Yeah.
But we have lots of different intimate relationships. People who sit next to somebody at work for years.
Right.
That's an intimate relationship.
I think my greater point is that relationships in general.
I think what you're asking about is jealousy.
Well,
right?
that's what I talked about earlier,
right.
Mentioning jealousy. But if you're putting yourself in that situation where you're not faking this, there is a part of you that
sure.
goes on the table every
sure.
time you meet these women.
Sure.
Have your lovers in the past had issues with that? Or is that why you find now that most of your lovers are escorts as well, because they're comfortable with that aspect?
Well, I think that it is... First off, it's about understanding, And I think a lot of people ask, you look, say, at actors, and you're like, well, why, or musicians? Why do actors date actors? Why do musicians date musicians? It's not really so much that there's a lot of subtleties about your life, and a lot of things that you would understand being a Brad Pitt.
Sure.
That the average chick on the street would just not understand, but that Angelina Jolie would get right away, that are important for you just going through your day as Brad Pitt.
Mm-hmm. And is that one of those things? That's what I'm asking. Is that one of those things that you understand at a different level than maybe Jordan and I would understand?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that, like, until you've lived in that world, you couldn't understand it. And this is that like, until you've lived as a high-class escort, because first off, what you understand is that no one else has any clue what's going on.
Sure.
They don't.
Why would we? Unless you're listening to the show right now, this is your first primer.
We're trying to get a clue.
Right.
That's part of the show.
And that's why I say this show that I was on is pretty eye-opening, and I think it's going to change a lot of people's opinion about the higher end of certainly escorts. There's
the other big show right now is Hyung, and it
sure.
it goes into, he's not high end,
not quite,
but it goes through his lifestyle, and one of the story arcs is he gets caught up on an emotional level with a client who doesn't share that same level of feelings.
But what I can tell you is this: Hyung is not about being a male escort. This guy isn't an escort. He's not in the business. He's a schlub, really.
Right.
It's not. Hyung is not about what I do.
Okay.
Right?
You're not a gym teacher.
Right. Well, let's clarify that, because
Right.
that's really the first experience that I think a lot of people have had to this industry, the thought of a male.
But the thing is, he's not in the industry. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, let's
you know
clarify
what I mean?
that. Yeah.
So yeah, he is someone. It's first off, it's a completely fictional story.
Right.
That was written, with a premise, and initially it was to shock you, to get you to watch.
Right.
And then most of it is not even about. As it goes on, Hyung is not even about him being a male prostitute. Hyung is about this guy trying to figure his life out.
Right.
He's having a midlife crisis.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Hyung is about. Hyung is not about being a male prostitute. It's a man with a midlife crisis who just so happens to
have sex for money.
Well, to wind up in that situation because he's desperate. Right?
That's
it's about
true.
a man being desperate who would have literally done anything. And that's what it's about. It's not about what I do at all. And I think that's... Although Secret Diary of a Call Girl is very, very accurate in terms of...
I have not seen that.
Yeah, it's very accurate in terms of the life of a high-paid escort. It's very accurate. I mean, it's almost like the way Law and Order pulls their episodes from real cases.